Hey guys, welcome back to Black Clover Mobile. In today's video, we're talking the, not Halloween, the, what do they call it? The costume Noelle versus costume Charmy. Now, before we do anything, I have to give Antho a massive shout out. He lets me onto his JP account to check all this stuff out. So I'm going to leave a link to one of his Noelle showcases in the description. Do me a favor, just click on it, show the man some love. I really do appreciate him and all of the guys in this Black Clover community. It's absolutely fantastic with content creators. So please go ahead and show him some love. But what we're going to cover in this one is who I'm picking. Also, whether you should summon on it, which I'm going to say for most free-to-play players, it's probably a skip. I'm going to put like 30, 40 summons in because I want to be able to make content on these guys quicker. But besides that, I would be skipping this banner and just picking up one from the gateway. But the one I'm picking is Noelle. I just think she has more utility in PvP for what I'm looking for. Now, I did see Gotcha Death made a video talking about it and perspective of why you might want to choose Charmy. I didn't actually watch it. I just saw the thumbnail, so I'll leave that linked in the description as well. I always like his takes on these things, so there's another one you can go ahead and support down there. But like I said, I am going for Noelle, and I'm here on the JP version because I want to show you something about a key mechanic of hers and the way it works, and then we're going to jump over to Pride Win and we're going to go through the skills of both of them. But like I said, there's something very important that I wanted to check before I made my decision on going for Noelle, and that was the way she functions in PvP versus Mars. And it's a very important one for me, because what we'll do is we'll just jump quickly over here and take a look at her passive. So this is her LR passive. So you don't need dupes on this one. So at the start, and this says LR +2, but that's like dupe 2. I don't know why they're... Yeah, anyway, I'll talk to Antlo about that, unless I'm stupid. But yeah, this one is the LR passive, which at the start of battle inflicts 40% reduced damage dealt debuff on attacker class enemies for 1 turn. This is really good for survival, but as we know on global, currently Mars is everywhere in the meta. Mars is meta. And I wanted to test because I know a lot of people would have this question, does this apply at the start of battle? So I want to show you that, and what you'll see is that this passive applies on the enemies. Now, I believe the reason for this, and don't quote me, is because she is faster, so this applies before Mars's one. However, these, which is her duplicates, do not. And these do not, to my understanding, because these are at the start of the wave, and these are at the start of the battle, and I think the way they've coded it is the start of the battle effects proc first. Once all the start of battle effects have procced, then they move on to start of wave procs. And that is my understanding. So when you use her, even if you have 2 dupes, this will still apply against Mars. However, this will not. And I wanted to show you guys that quickly because I think that's a very important thing, where if that didn't work, it would change my view on her a little bit. So we've got an enemy here with the Mars. Now we're going to use characters that aren't in the game yet. That's fine. I just want to show you this passive. So if I jump in here and I hit go, and we hit go for the battle, you'll see that attacker, please tell me they had an attacker class unit. I don't think they did. Holy shit. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. They got Noelle. So that would have been bad if they had no attackers. But you can see the Noelle here has that 40% reduced damage dealt. However, the LR passive, which is supposed to put damage taken increase on the entire enemy team, that has not applied. So that is a very important thing, and I just wanted to hammer that down because that would change my mind if that didn't apply, because that is very helpful in the current meta for surviving the burst of enemy teams. So that's what I wanted to cover there. So now we're going to bounce back over into Pride Win and take a look at the rest of her kit and go through it. So her skill 2, I absolutely love this. Yes, she provides a lot of mitigation. This is single target, but we've got the magic attack reduction, cool. SP reduction on all enemies, which is nice. That SP -1 doesn't really buy you much at the start of a battle. It's not like going to make them miss their ultimate, because it'll take them from 8 down to 7, and then at the start of the turn, they get back to 8. It's after they've used an ult or they've been depleted more that it holds them lower. And her basic attack is going to do that same type of thing. But this is also going to do debuff duration. But, you know, basic attack is the basic attack. But what I wanted to look at here is, and I'm not going to talk about skill page too much because I'm tipping it, you know, if you're just selecting one, you're not going to be doing a bunch of summons. HP recovery on the enemy, it's nothing like, I don't think it's like the most important thing, but the page itself is nice. But once again, if you're free to play and you're just picking one up, I want to look at this from a base level, not from a high investment level. So that's why I'm not going to go too deep into the skill page, even though the skill page for its other effect is quite nice. But the big thing here is the taunt for me. It's a guaranteed application taunt, and it's for 2 turns. Now, this is huge disruption, not for the fact that, okay, enemies now have to target her, but it locks them out of using healing abilities. It locks them out of using buffing abilities. It locks them out of reviving their allies. Like, taunt is such a powerful thing in this game, and that's why this skill is so useful in my opinion, because it can disrupt the enemy team so well. Then we go on to the ultimate. Now this is an SP -3 on the enemy, which is good. You know, use this first up and it's going to stop them from actually using their ult on the first turn, which is really nice. Removing all buffs and then also reducing the damage they deal with a disarm. This is another nice ability. So what I love with this is she's just got lockouts. So when we look at her skill 2, depending on what situation you need, you taunt, you lock out buff capabilities and healing and stuff like that. Whereas this one here, use the ultimate, and that locks them out of their ultimate. So that's what I like about it. Just note SP -3 is still going to leave them available to you. If you use this before they move, that will take them down to 5. They will then go up to 6 and they will still have access to combo attacks. Just keep that in mind, but they will not be able to use their ultimate. But depending on how people have their auto set in PvP, you might be able to use this on an enemy that you're really threatened by their ultimate, but their combo doesn't really bother you. And if they haven't set their auto properly, then they might use their combo and waste it, and then they won't get round to using their ultimate. So there's different ways you can play around with this. Now, finally, we have a combo which can be used to remove barrier. We still have very much a barrier type meta with a lot of it in there. So, you know, a tech option to be able to remove that if you didn't need to reduce the SP is going to be a handy one in there. Pair her with a damage dealer, remove the barrier, get some extra damage in, happy days. But like I said, it's this as well that is the big thing for me, which is that reduced damage dealt that actually applies before Mars gets his immunity to it up. So that is fantastic in helping you survive at the start of battle. And I think she's just an absolute fantastic character with a great kit all round. Now, moving on from that, let's go to... Okay, here she is, I'm blind. So, for Charmy, now, the first thing I'm going to look at is her LR passive, which everyone can unlock. Now, this is really nice because when HP is below 30% grants immortality for 1 turn. Now, we've seen this before. We've seen it with Licks, we've seen it with Flagoleon. It's just a common thing they slap on. It's just a good passive. It guarantees that you get 1 survival and you get to do 1 extra turn. Now, you can be stunned and all that stuff and miss out on that, but it is a nice passive to have nonetheless. Now, the first thing I'm going to look at is the ultimate, which is kind of cool. Now, this always reminds me of Bombs in Summoner's War, which is a game I played many years ago. But essentially, you're putting this pumpkin pie on the enemy, and after a certain amount of turns, it will go boom, and you take like big damage. Now, we do have her skill, which is then used to blow up the pumpkin pie and get the big damage straight away. So it's like a big, look at it like a bomb is what I look at it. But on top of that, if an enemy under the effect starts their turn, transfer pumpkin pie effect to a random teammate on their side, which is nice. Inflicts continuous burn damage to the enemy whom pumpkin pie has been transferred to for 2 turns. So not only are we getting the pumpkin pie, we're also getting the burn effects as well, which can stack up really nicely. If an enemy is under the pumpkin pie effect, inflict burn on them for 2 turns. So as you can see, we're getting really well stacked burns on top of having a bomb that we can then go ahead and detonate with our skill to be an absolute pain in the ass and deal some massive damage. And this thing is just killing things. So that is what I really like about it. I think this is it's a cool way of playing. And then we also have her basic attack, which is going to deal burn as well. So that's the main synergy of a kit. Look at her like a dot/bombing unit, and that is how I view her. I still think she is a great unit. It's just for me, what I'm looking at, I'm kind of got my damage dealing mind set. I'm not going for pure burn synergies. I'm going to go for Asta, I think. Otherwise, you're kind of saving up and going for Marileona. And I don't see the point in me investing in this character on a damage sense, even though she's more of like a supportive type damage dealer as well. I don't see the point in it when I know I'm going to go higher investment into other damage dealers. I've already got my Julius maxed and he lasts for a long time. And that's the main reason. I like the more supportive type characters from the... unless I'm going all in on a damage dealer, I kind of prefer the supportive units because then I can still get that supportive usage out of them in tech situations. Whereas a damage dealer, I really want to have higher investment. And that is what I'm looking at. So that is a basic summary of both of them. Like I said, I prefer the Noelle because she does have that supportive aspect. She's got an amazing passive, and she's one of those flex units that you can use abilities based on where the battle is at to either lock enemies out with taunt or to lock them out of ultimates with this. Now, obviously, we have all those other things tied into it, the mitigation and stuff like that, but that is the fundamental way I look at these things. Plus, we get survival at the start of battle, which is very, very helpful for not getting cleaved. So that's what I look at it. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I really love the fact that this applies before Mars's immunity, because it does allow us to get that. I think they've actually balanced this character pretty well by having that apply at the start of battle in PvP, but that one not. I think it makes it more balanced, but you guys let me know what you think. That's my summary. Once again, get out there, check out these other creators. Antho and Gotcha Death will be in the description, but there's so many of the other guys. Go show them some love. We did a podcast on Giku's channel. Go check that out. And yeah, just show the guys some love. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.